The biggest launch in company history was moments from collapse. Panic erupted as screens flashed red. Then an unlikely hero emerged from the shadows. But who could it be? The air crackled with a mix of anticipation and dread in the gleaming headquarters of Quantum Innovations. Today was the day. Their groundbreaking Sentinel-X platform, years in the making, was about to debut to the world. Investors globally were tuned in. Journalists poised for live reports. One flawless demonstration, and the company's stock would rocket sky high. No one yearned for that success more than CEO Mark Henderson, a man whose tailored suit and steely gaze usually projected unwavering control. But beneath that polished exterior, a storm brewed. Weeks of testing had unveiled phantom glitches, elusive bugs that no engineer could pinpoint. Mark had demanded perfection, a flawless rollout, yet a gnawing tension persisted. Mere minutes before the live stream, all eyes were glued to the central command center. Developers, engineers, and analysts feverishly prepped the system, their fingers a blur across keyboards. Then, a soft chime, quickly followed by another. A screen flickered. Server offline, a voice barely whispered. A chilling premonition. Moments later, a digital tsunami of alerts engulfed every monitor. Database connection lost. Stream encoder failed. Core process halted. The lead engineer's face blanched. "What's happening?" Mark roared, his composure cracking. "Sir, we've lost all back-end access. The entire system is collapsing. Fix it." Mark's voice cracked with raw panic. "We go live in 7 minutes." Red warning lights proliferated across the control room. Developers scrambled, futilely attempting backups. The critical server node was inaccessible. And worse, no one understood why. "It's like it's devouring itself," someone mumbled, a note of horror in their voice. Mark slammed his fist down. "I don't care what it's like. Just fix it." Despair hung heavy, thick as fog. Investors were already on the line. If the system didn't revive instantly, the public launch would become a catastrophic implosion. Years of relentless work annihilated. Mark spun to his CTO. "Get the vendor on the line. Call the architects." "They're already trying, Mark, but if this is something deep inside, then you better get it undeep inside." Mark snapped, his voice hoarse. A senior engineer murmured in the corner, "I've never witnessed an error this profound." Meanwhile, in the quiet hallway outside, Roberto, the company's janitor, was wrapping up his early shift. Beside him, his 10-year-old son, Leo, dutifully waited. Roberto couldn't afford after-school care, so every day after 3, Leo would join him, with the boss's blessing, to sit quietly in the break room and read. Leo didn't mind. He adored being at Quantum. He'd often sneak peeks at the engineers' glowing screens, mesmerized by the intricate lines of code. He even collected discarded printouts Roberto found in recycling bins, poring over them at home. No one ever paid much attention to the janitor's kid until today. As Roberto pushed his cart down the hall, he noticed a frantic commotion spilling from the control room. Voices echoed, screens pulsed wildly. Curiosity tugged at Lee. He peeked inside and his eyes widened at the dizzying array of monitors, scrolling code and blaring error messages. Roberto tried to gently pull him back. "Leo, stay out of the way, son." But the boy's gaze was fixed. "I've seen that before," Leo whispered. Roberto blinked. "Seen what?" "That error message. From the old code files I read." Roberto frowned. "You're imagining things, Micho." "No, I know it." Without hesitation, Leo stepped into the chaotic room. Head swiveled. Mark, initially oblivious to the small figure, froze as Leo's clear voice cut through the tension. "I think I know what's wrong." A stunned silence descended. Mark whirled around. "Who are you?" Roberto rushed forward, flustered. "Sir, that's my boy. I'm so incredibly sorry. He didn't mean to." But Leo stood his ground. "Your code," he stated, pointing to a screen. "The failover script. It's stuck in an infinite loop." Mark blinked. "What did you just say?" The lead engineer stared, dumbfounded. "How could you possibly know that?" "I read your old manuals," Leo simply replied, gesturing toward the flickering display. "That loop calls itself without a clean break. It's crashing the memory." Mark shook his head, dismissing the notion. "This is absurd. We don't have time for." But the CTO, a glimmer of desperate hope in his eyes, whispered, "Wait, Mark. He might be right." 4 minutes. That's all they had. until the live stream. The team was out of options. Mark looked at Leo, then at Roberto, a desperate gamble in his eyes. Fine, one chance. Sit. Leo calmly took the lead engineer's chair. His small fingers danced across the keyboard, a flurry of commands. The room watched in breathless silence as he navigated, with uncanny precision, to a forgotten section of legacy code, a part untouched by anyone for 2 years. And there it was, a wild failover true loop, executing without a break condition. A ticking time bomb, indeed. Leo's eyes sparkled. Told you. He typed a short, decisive sequence. If fail, count 3, halt, notify. He hit enter. The frantic flashing on the screen ceased. One by one, the server nodes turned green. Reconnecting. Stream restored, database online. The lead engineer gasped, tears welling. It's working. Mark froze. Is the feed live? Yes. In 90 seconds, the entire room erupted in a cacophony of relief and sheer disbelief. A 10-year-old boy, the janitor's son, had just rescued their billion-dollar launch. Mark stood speechless, utterly stunned. Leo looked up, a calm suggestion on his face. You should probably update your code. Going live in 60 seconds, the control room burst into a whirlwind of activity. Engineers scrambled, double-checking every green light. The entire platform, moments from total collapse, now hummed smooth as silk. All thanks to a small boy in a hoodie and a pink headband. CEO Mark Henderson remained frozen. How was this even possible? His entire team of highly paid experts, yet a janitor's kid, had pinpointed the flaw in mere minutes. Roberto, standing discreetly to the side, looked utterly stunned. His son had just saved the day. But Leo didn't gloat. He simply stood, hands in his pockets. Should be fine now, he said softly. Mark cleared his throat. We're live in 30 seconds, the CTO called out. The lead engineer turned to Leo. That loop, how did we miss it? Leo smiled. It wasn't in the new code. It was in the patch scripts that got pulled in when you switched servers. Mark exhaled sharply. How did you know all of this? I read the printouts from your recycle bins, Leo said matter-of-factly. And I practiced fixing stuff on Dad's old laptop. Roberto whispered, a catch in his voice. He's been teaching himself for months. I didn't think anyone would believe him. Going live, a colossal screen lit up at the front of the room, displaying the global feed. Across the world, quantum investors witnessed a perfectly functioning platform. The online chat exploded. Flawless. Incredible work. Investments secured. The stock ticker held steady. Crisis averted. For a long, silent moment, the control room collectively exhaled. Then, applause erupted. The team clapped. Some cheered. Others simply stared at Leo in utter awe. Roberto wiped away tears. Mark approached slowly, then knelt just enough to meet Leo's gaze. Young man, Mark said, his voice hushed with profound gratitude. You just saved this company. Leo merely shrugged. I just fixed some code. Mark blinked, and for the first time all day, a genuine smile touched his lips. Tell me, Leo, would you like to learn more? Leo's eyes lit up like stars. Yeah. The next morning, the story had already swept through the city. 10-year-old saves billion-dollar demo, screamed one headline. Janitor's son rescues quantum tech launch, declared another. By noon, Mark called a company-wide meeting. Before the entire staff, cameras flashing, executives wrapped, Mark stood at the podium. Yesterday, he announced, his voice ringing with pride, we were saved by someone no one expected. He gestured to Leo and Roberto, standing proudly nearby. Leo Davis, son of our very own Roberto Davis, showed us what true talent looks like, humble, brilliant, and unseen. He looked at Roberto. And Roberto, for years you've kept this building spotless, never once asking for more. That ends today. Mark turned back to the astonished audience. As of this moment, we are offering Leo a full mentorship with our senior developers, and when he's ready, a full scholarship to the top coding school of his choice. The crowd erupted in wild applause. Roberto wiped a tear from his eye. And for Roberto, Mark added, his voice thick with emotion, a full promotion to lead facilities manager with full benefits. No more worrying about care for Leo. You have given this company more than we ever knew. Later that afternoon, Mark found Leo in the break room. The very same room where he'd spent months quietly absorbing forgotten manuals. Mark placed a sleek top-of-the-line laptop on the table. "Yours, Leo," he said. Leo's jaw dropped. "For me, you earned it," Mark affirmed, kneeling slightly. "And Leo, this place, this entire company is open to you whenever you wish to learn." Leo grinned, a wide, joyful smile. Roberto walked in, placing a proud hand on his son's shoulder. "See, I told you, you've always had the mind for it." Weeks later, Leo was a familiar sight in the development lab, sitting beside the company's elite engineers, asking questions no one else thought to ask. And every time someone inquired about the young boy, they received the same answer. "That's Leo, the kid who saved us all."